So I just want to make a quick video today discussing why I think that the fitness and nutrition health industry in and of itself can be a toxic system for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people go in with very good intentions of improving their health status, altering their body composition, improving their physical performance, and improving the quality of their diet. But the problem is that a lot of people go in but then go out the other side once they've entered it and come out with even more warped perceptions of food, even more distorted body images of themselves. They come out with neurotic eating disorders. They come out with ultra low self-esteem. And the reason being is with typical, rigid, extreme dieting is that it actually suspends all your actions in what I call a paralysis frame. And the reason I call it a paralysis frame is that it begins to impede your ability to function as a human being. It affects you on a social interaction level. You can't go out anymore and eat certain foods. You can't enjoy certain foods with your family, your friends. It begins to affect you on a mental health level because you begin obsessing around certain foods. You create a dualism with food. Good food, bad food, right food, wrong food, clean food, dirty food. You have this massive high when you eat certain good foods, quote unquote, and then your self-esteem drops when you eat certain bad foods. Rather than coming from a place of neutrality, that every food is good until you assign a positive or negative meaning to it. The problem with what most people consider dirty, bad, forbidden foods is that oftentimes them foods are totally fine in moderation, but most people don't have that element of moderation of desires. They're coming from this extremism frame where everything is based on willpower, everything's based on the elimination of foods, everything's based on this short-term results. Where I am coming from within my programs is a place of equilibrium, a place of balance. It's coming from a place of mastery, which has an element of ease as opposed to this element of difficulty. It's coming from a place of a way of life rather than the short-term results of our diet, which only lasts 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2, whatever it is. It's coming from a place of mastery versus willpower. So you have an element of intelligence around the foods you want to eat. You have an element of what constitutes to what macros are in what calories are in what, how much fiber is in it, what minerals, what vitamins are in it, and stuff like this. It makes your life a lot easier. And when you have the element of that heightened level of nutritional intelligence, exercise science, stuff like this, you can actually improvise and have an element of fluidity in your diet without having to adhere to these strict, rigid dieting principles, which honestly cause even more stress. A lot of science is showing that 95% of people can't actually sustain typical rigid dieting principles, and if anything, they end up gaining their weight back over a certain period of time, and they actually gain even more back than how heavy they were when they actually started the diet themselves. So what I am actually describing, I actually call it anti-dieting, and the reason being is that it's not a diet I am actually prescribing. It isn't that I'm prescribing the vegan diet, vegetarian diet, or an omnivore diet. What I'm saying is that I'm going to give you guys on my YouTube channel, very flexible organizational principles that you can actually build the infrastructure of your diet of your own choosing based on the science, based on flexibility, based on equilibrium and stuff like that, so you can enjoy social events again. You can actually have an element of cognitive health as well, but you have an element of flexibility. You don't obsess over certain foods. You can actually include, that's a massive thing that a lot of times in the fitness industry, to do certain diets, to actually start a certain diet, you have to go through a process of elimination. Whereas in my programs, you have an inclusion frame. So you actually start including all the foods you enjoy again. It isn't coming from this place of, you look at foods as dangerous, that you have this you give them this moral power. And what I say is that if you can have an element, if I give you the scaffolding, there's certain kind of parameters you can eat certain foods. And oftentimes foods which people claim are bad, cause you cancer, they have certain negative health benefits. It all comes down usually to frequency and quantity, and it depends on what your body can handle, depends on your goal and things of this nature. So I hope that sheds a bit of light on why I think the industry in of itself, in regards to health and fitness, can be a toxic system for some people. What I am prescribing is actually a paradigm shift out of the traditional rigid dieting methods and into what I call anti-dieting, which isn't really a diet in of itself. It's actually a way of being. Oftentimes when we go into a health and fitness program, we become human doings, not human beings. So my programs are actually focused on beingness and actually a sustainable way of life based on longevity, health, balance, equilibrium, and enjoyability. So hope that makes a lot of sense. I hope that gives people a little bit of hope that there is another way to do things out there. You don't have to suffer to get in shape. It doesn't have to come from this place of total misery. So hope you guys have enjoyed that video, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.